Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. We are approaching Mother's Day this Sunday. We're going to celebrate and acknowledge our mothers on Thursday. We do have a guest, but we will take a couple of seconds to do that. This morning, we have a friend and sister who I have known for a very, very long time. I have seen her come up through the ranks as a direct service youth worker, program manager, and now she is the executive director at the historic Freedom House. And we're going to talk with her about the programming that they're doing there. They have an event coming up tomorrow, and we're going to chat about that. But do me a favor and hit that share button and invite others into the Java Cafe to hear our discussion this morning as I present to some and introduce to others. I would call her the great Reverend Doctor, but she's in her official role this morning. And so we're just going to introduce you to Executive Director Charmaine L. Arthur. Hi, Charmaine.
Cutting up. Good morning. Good morning. Listen, I was jamming now off of that music.
Listen, so you know who did that? Latrell's husband, Tyrone.
Okay.
Him, and then this other one in the background. Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? Yes, the intro. Yeah, that is them. I'm sitting up here messing up. But good morning to you. How are you?
I am good.
You're looking wonderful. And what other screen are you in, Jesus?
Am I in another screen?
No, I'm messing with you because one of my guests that comes on every week, I can tell when she's in another screen while we're talking because them eyes be moving. But how are you?
I am good.
Good. That is good. So first, I believe you've been, on the show before, but tell us a little bit about you. I referred to the fact that you've come up through the ranks as a youth worker. Who is Charmaine in this space of supporting young people?
Child, listen. So, God, my oldest son is 35. He'll be 36. So we're talking about a good 33 years.
Okay.
In youth development, direct service, Harvard Street Neighborhood Health Center. Started back in the day with folks like Kathy Best, Ronnie Watkins, doing work, working with young women, addiction, young women, and women who are pregnant. We talk a lot today about maternal health.
Yeah.
That work was being done in the early 90s through many health centers. So started there, went on to Mo Vaughn Youth Development Program. If people remember Mo Vaughn, he used to be a Red Sox player.
Where we met.
Absolutely. Mo wanted to serve young people in Boston, got deeper into direct service work with Mo Vaughn Youth Development Program, transitioned to urban. My days of the YMCA, Greater Boston.
Oh God! You bring it back.
I've done direct service for a very long time. I've done project management, funding, after school programs. Sat in that seat. Been at Freedom House for 14 years. Started in 2009. I always reflect on that because when I started, Gail Snowden was the CEO at the time. My daughter was 3 months old, and she is now 14, graduating from middle school. next month.
Your baby's 14.
Yes, she is.
Time flies by kind of quick.
Yes, she is. So I am direct service. That's what I've done. That's what that's what I'm grounded in. I'm working directly with young people. Even sitting in a CEO seat does not far remove me
Yep.
from still working with young people. And that's something that I've committed to do. I'm also, as you mentioned earlier, um, ministry leader, Facing Our Journey International Ministry, Ebenezer House of Worship. And I'm a mama and a grandmother.
You're a mama and a grandmother. Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely know your work in the community. You're very vocal and what's the word?
There go them eyes. There go them.
Passionate. In spaces on social media when it comes to advocacy. And so I'm sure some folks are aware of who you are. But tell us, about the Freedom House. I often in the marketing, which was kind of late, forgive me for that. I'm referring to the Freedom House as historic, and you referred to Gail Snowden. Tell us about the Freedom House, its rich history. There is a long list of very influential, popular, leaderful people in this city that have come through this programming. The first one that comes to mind, I think you were on before. You went on Pastor Matt.
Yep.
Paths on my anniversary. Pastor Matt Thompson is one of them, and others. Yep. So my son is one, Juan David, who's now a dean doing things in East Boston. And so
JD.
Yep. Yes. Tell us about the history of the Freedom House.
You talk about Pastor Matt, Chip Greenwich, Kaidi Grant, my goodness, Kendra Hoyt, Juanita Wade used to be the CEO of Freedom House. We're talking Ricardo Neal, a long history of folks who have led this organization, who have been a part of this organization. Project Reach alumni, Sarita, I can't remember Sarita's last name. Sarita's the principal over
Joyce.
at
Is it a Joyce?
Yes.
Yep.
Sarita Joyce is a Project Reach alumni. A lot of young men, adult men and women came through Freedom House, served Freedom House. When I came through these doors, we've been here 74 years. When I came through these doors 14 years ago, I came to lead up an organization, the Multicultural Dropout Outreach Collaborative. We focused heavily in partnership with OWISTE at the time, Young Cape Verdean Club, NAACP, partnered with the Boston Public School, partnered with the Boston Private Industry Council to focus on the high rates of young Black men and Black women that were dropping out of school at that time, helped to move some legislation and policy, had the pleasure of working with folks like Sonia Chang Diaz, Carlos Enrique, Rep Peisch, Deval Patrick.
Yes. You going
Mayor Menino.
Mayor
Menino. Seriously, had the honor and the pleasure not only to work with Menino, but to argue in a meeting with Menino. Had that pleasure, Kim Janey, just a number of folks that have come through Freedom House. The other day we lost Mel King.
Yes.
Mel King historically came through, did amazing work with Otto and Muriel Snowden through the Freedom House. So a lot, Chuck Turner, Charles Yancey, Diane Wilkerson, I can run the list, but you're absolutely right. A long history, 74 years of social justice, civic engagement work, equity and inclusion, quality education for young people, specifically young people of color. Today, we continue to serve high school and college students on their post-secondary pathways, supporting them socially and emotionally, also providing mental wellness support through folks like Kwame Dance from Inner Sight. Kurt Foston came on last year to work with our young people, partner with Bowden Street Neighborhood Health Center. So, our focus right now around post-secondary is preparing young people for post-secondary career. So what does that look like? It can look like 2 years, 4 years, or a trade career for our young people.
Mm-hmm.
We've recently implemented actually in this year, we've piloted a gap year program, because
Yep.
we had about 6 or 7 young people graduating from high school and did not want to go to college right away. But we served those young people for the last 3.5 years at a
So
school.
let me ask this.
Go
You
on.
don't just get them through high school and into college and then see you bye-bye later.
No.
Okay. And I just want to acknowledge the rich history of social justice and a lot of things that the Freedom House has moved in and led, and a staple in our community with that long list. But today we're kind of focusing on one of the major pillars of the Freedom House is that post-secondary support. So you don't just get them through high school and then send them on their way and hope they come back and say hello during Christmas break.
No.
What is the unique thing about the post-secondary support that you do with the Freedom House?
So our coaches, specialists, are embedded in high schools. So they're in the high schools 3 to 4 days a week. They're working not only directly with students, but they're working with school administration, guidance. They're working with leaders of school. They're helping our young people prepare for what that career path, that educational path leads to. So that's everything from completed applications, identifying grants and support for our young people, educating families on the FAFSA process, trying to help our young people stay debt free.
Yes.
The other thing that is very important for us, we don't focus on GPA. I can't tell you.
Really?
Nope.
As a post-secondary educational support system, you don't focus. I mean, I know you tell them to get the best that they can, but wow. Okay.
Absolutely. And I say that to say, I have young people who, I don't know, 1.9, 1.7, had no interest, came through these doors in the summer and was like, straight up, Miss Charmaine, I'm just here for the check. That was the first week. Listen, you know I love honesty in our young people.
You got to appreciate the authenticity. Yep. So let me just clarify. You don't focus on the GPA for entrance into your program. You don't have to have a certain GPA to get supported. Okay.
You do not have to have a certain GPA to be coached or supported in our high school program.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Now, what that looks like is we've had young people with those type of GPAs that have no interest in going to college, don't even see themselves as quote unquote college education or post-secondary pathways, and working with young people through the summer, working with those scholars through the school year, internships, additional education. A lot of them were able to turn that thought process around. I could think of one young man right now. You know, he came through these doors and was like, he wasn't trying to hear it. Nope, I'm not going to college. I got like a 1.7 GPA. He's now a junior at Suffolk University. And he wants to be the CEO of Freedom House.
So he's coming to take your job. Listen, I'm not mad at it. And you said that's
not mad either.
Which is, you know, I was talking with the Secretary of Education the other day, and I asked him about, you know, Black men and men of color in education. And he talked about this huge gap over the years in the post-civil rights movement. And so that is definitely awesome to hear. I mean, Charmaine, I've seen the work. I know what you guys do at the Freedom House. How have you've named some things and challenges that young people have in general? Now let's talk about post-COVID. How has your support, how has your model adjusted to get young people to this point of still getting in or staying in post-secondary education? Because COVID had an impact not only on our K through 12, but
everybody.
Yeah. And especially the population that you deal with tend to be more Black and brown. And we know that that was a whole different impact on us. And so how have you adjusted, and what is it that you're doing now to help young people in this as we approach the endemic, so they say?
So recently we read some data that came out that said 50% of seniors in 2021 and 2022 did not go on to post-secondary, didn't persist, didn't go on to college, for a number of reasons, right?
Yep.
We know what COVID already did, what was going on in lives of young people and families, but COVID exacerbated that. It just
Yes.
exposed it on a totally different level where young people could not even function. Some couldn't function remotely. My son, Framingham State University, excellent student, could not function in a remote platform, went into a place of deep depression. My child, the middle one, John's child, the father,
Yes.
went into a place of darkness, and he ended up working with Freedom House that summer and realized when he sat in that circle with other young Black and brown males like him, they were all experiencing the same thing. So he no longer felt isolated. So in 2020, we went home. April, took our little laptops home, went completely remote.
Okay.
During that time, lots of the going into this pandemic, young people started to fall off. Staff started to fall off, stressed out. A couple of our staff immediately got COVID. Had a conversation with Katrina at the time. That's our previous CEO.
Mhm.
Had to hire a therapist. Had to partner with an organization at the time, Quintessential Solutions.
Okay.
And had to partner with them to identify a counselor that could not only support our young people,
Yep.
but can also support our staff. So that year, we provided virtual mental wellness sessions for our students and our staff.
How was their participation? Did they, because the whole Zoom thing and whatnot was
100
interesting in general.
For the young people we serve, 100% showed up.
For wellness on Zoom?
Yes. Yes. So what we did, we broke them down by groups. So sessions were an hour. We had about 6-7 sessions a week because they were broken down in groups, no more than 12 in a group, and one staff, one senior coach,
Okay. Yep.
and a / junior coach was a part of that session. So what we also did in 2020, our college students that were struggling, we then shifted and created these positions called junior coaches, which then we trained them to facilitate, to mentor, to coach high school students. And we were able to pay them during that time. And we did a lot of food donations. So our college students were right out front of our building giving out food because there was an increase of food insecurity during that time. So we had to change what was normal in-person programming to 100% remote in 2020. 2021, we went to a hybrid model, 2 days in, 2 days out, meeting in person and 2 days on the Zoom platform. I mean, you can imagine 100 young people plus 15 staff on a Zoom call for the summer for 7 weeks in 2020.
That listen, it is definitely. I asked that specifically because our young people had to do so many adjustments. Staff had to do so many adjustments, and your name being the Freedom House, it just, I had the thought around how we help, because we know that we can't keep our young people focused on academics if they're dealing with everything else, where they're going to sleep, mental health, depression, anxiety, addiction, issues with parents, being a parent. And so I just really wanted domestic violence, if they're part of the LGBTQ plus community, all that comes with that, being a woman, everything that comes with that. And so I just really was intentional about the last couple of questions, because as we go in to talk about what's going on tomorrow night and different ways people can support the Freedom House, I thought it was important that they hear some of the backstory and the philosophy and the culture from the leader. But this is also decades in this model of supporting our young people. So what's going on tomorrow?
We are May 10th, the Art of Community. It is entitled, and it's a fireside chat that is going to be virtual. The event is free to the public. We've worked with an amazing
I'm gonna put
artist.
the link. I think I can get the link in while you're talking. I can get the
Okay.
link. Um,
We worked with an amazing artist, Nika Jones, to commission limited edition prints for
limited edition plants.
prints.
Oh, Prince. I was
Prints.
going to say you better hold me one.
Limited edition prints. Amazing. People will get to see the prints tomorrow. They are for purchase. All proceeds will go to Freedom House. Amazing portraits. Nika Jones developed, painted, created. So we will have her tomorrow. She's the co-founder, activist, artist of Art You Hungry. We're also going to have Dr. Makiba McCrary, president of the New Commonwealth Racial Equity and Social Justice Fund, and our moderator, Jonathan Allen. He's the co-founder and director of leadership, Brainery, director of development. And
okay, yes, yep.
and it's called, the focus is the power of disrupting cultural narratives while strengthening communities. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to challenge, have a conversation how, we challenge the narratives, right, that are created about our community, narratives that are created about the young people we serve, and build on new narratives.
Okay.
The other thing that this conversation is going to lead is calling public institutions, not-for-profit, philanthropy, to invest in those organizations, invest in the work in a way that challenges them to build new narratives and for a more equitable Boston. We talk about equity in Boston, and what does that really look like for our young people? What does it really look like for our communities today, right? Sort of, it's not even post-pandemic, James. It's sort of this normalized pandemic that we're still in. I don't know what hospital it was. I think it was Tufts University. Just said for the longest time in history, they have 0 COVID patients. I think they announced that like last week, that currently they have no patients in their hospital that have COVID. So, we're not out of it, right? In addition to all the other stuff that has festered, additional sickness, RSV, stuff that we're seeing in schools, young people, mental wellness, even the numbers, the percentage have gone up, the violence, the safety challenges that we're seeing in schools today. That stuff didn't come from anywhere. I'm gonna stay in my CEO role because I'm not gonna walk down the spiritual path of what has been manifested in the earth. But this particular event is really to have that conversation, challenge those narratives and build new narratives and call some folks to the table. Makiba said to me one day, I remember my first month in this position. I've known Makiba for a very, very, very long time. And my first conversation, one of the things she said to me when I talked about really challenging and having difficult conversations with funders, philanthropy, that conversation, she said, how are they going to know if programs don't educate them? How are they going to know if communities don't educate them?
Yep. And so there is a responsibility that we have, and that's a whole different Zoom in itself. I'm going to behave. If you don't walk down one aisle, I'm not going to walk down the other. I'll stay in my host role, and you stay in your CEO role.
But
so
you know this. I mean, you absolutely know this. You come from this work. That's how we've known each other a very long time. Lord have mercy, over 30 years. You come from this work.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So no matter where you go in your career, you can still ground yourself. You can still walk up in this building and the staff, honor and respect you when they come through the door. Not because of Java with Jimmy, they love that, but they remember the James that came through
all right. The art of community is coming up on what you call it on thing
trying to cut me off.
We call it yep, for real. On tomorrow evening here in the comments,
4 p.m.
we have a hyperlink, but I'm showing it to you here. Give Butter. I like that. Okay. You can go to Give Butter. But you can click the hyperlink and go see more about what's going on tomorrow evening. Shout out to Brother Jonathan, whom I know, a very good brother, and he has wonderful energy. I'm sure you'll enjoy him hosting this. And Charmaine talked about the artist Nika Jones will have some exclusive or limited prints available. And so, listen, as this says down here, go RSVP today and be able to make it. Charmaine, I'm going to be accountable. I'm going one of our Black-owned businesses is doing something tomorrow, and I hit yeah, you'll get me later because I noticed it was sent over. But I love you, Charmaine.
No, listen, what I would say, no, if you register for the event, you will get the replay.
Okay.
So I've been encouraging people, even if you can't.
And this is virtual. Let's just express that
it is
you don't have to leave your home. You can log in and watch and listen. Okay. Yep.
It is virtual, and you know we're talking about the right voices at the table. You know, Dr. McCrary Makiba, as I said, you know, long history with Makiba. This is right up her alley.
Tell her I said hey when she get there too. It's good sister.
Wealth and knowledge. So I am looking forward to this conversation tomorrow, and what will build from that. Because
that's just a start. That's just
a start.
Yep.
Right. It's a start. So
good morning, Miss Edna. Miss Edna's in the room. I just had to say good morning to her real quick.
I see that.
Yeah. But Charmaine, thank you for coming in this morning. Thank you for being flexible. And we were trying to get you here earlier, but you wasn't able to make it. But we made it happen today. And Asia and other folks are coming in. Go back and watch this because in Asia, you would really enjoy this. There are limited prints coming out tomorrow from artists. Nika Jones. So make sure you go register. The link again is in the comments. So make sure you go click that. And if you register, you're still eligible to get the afterwatch.
Replay.
The replay. Listen, I should remember that word.
Absolutely.
Replay, the afterwatch. And so go register and do that. And don't forget tomorrow night, it's virtual. So you don't have to leave your home.
It is virtual.
It is virtual.
Yes, it is free. And you're also welcome to make a donation and support the work. And I know we got to wrap up. I want to just share this, that our Summer Learning Institute starts July 5th. We go for 7 weeks of summer programming for high school and college students. We have a few openings still left. That's the Summer Institute. There's a employment component. So not only will your child have employment, they'll be taking college classes at Franklin Cummins Institute, amazing field trips, and our young people, they do a civic engagement project every year. And James, that is what I was referencing, the work that you came in that year and you prepared our young people for their civic engagement project that summer. So
appreciate it. Okay. I ain't gonna mess with you. So folks, don't forget tomorrow night. Don't forget it's here in the comments. Go and register. I'm gonna get Charmaine off of here and go pay some bills before she make me turn beet red. But don't forget tomorrow night, register at this link. You will also get the ability or have access to watch after the fact and see some of these wonderful limited prints that are coming out. And Charmaine, hopefully I'll see you in the alto section. We got some stuff coming down with the citywide gospel choir. So I'll just
absolutely
okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
You gonna sing?
I don't know about all that. But
I said alto section. You said absolutely.
How you know I'm an alto though? You right, but how you know that?
I can hear it in your voice. Let me get off of here. I love you, sis.
Love you too.
And tell everybody there I said hey.
Hey, I'll let them know.
Bye.
I'll let them know.
All right, bye-bye. Y'all, that was my good friend and sister, Charmaine Arthur, who is doing great work over at the Freedom House. And so please don't forget to go check out that wonderful event tomorrow evening. Don't forget the registration link is here. You can go register and be able to look at the afterwatch. Listen, I wanted to mention something to you all. I've had him on before, and he's doing some great work with our good friend Quincy Roberts and others in LGBTQ plus communities, not only a social, but also bringing attention And as Charmaine brought up, that we are still, to some respect, in COVID. And so let's just remember that we still need some services out there. So one of the services that are currently being offered out there right now through a collaboration with the Boston Lesbian Gay Urban Foundation, they want to let you know, hey, Boston and surrounding communities, Boston Lesbian Gay Urban Foundation and Fenway Health Center is coming to inform you on how to get important, or how important it is to protect yourself from COVID-19. Let's get vaccinated. Let's encourage our loved ones and family and friends to get boosted. Get a COVID shot. Get a booster. Getting a booster will help save more lives. Guess what? If you receive a vaccination, Blue will give you a one-day pass to any Urban Pride event that's taking place on July 1st through July 3rd, 2023. Get connected to a health center. You can do that by going to www.fenwayhealth.org, or you can email the Blue Foundation, which is, and we're going to put this on the screen right now so you can have that, you can see their email address and take a screenshot of it. But you can also email them at info@lesbiangayurbanfoundation.org, or you can visit the CDC website. So again, shout out to Blue and the Fenway Community Health Center for making sure that there are services still available and targeted toward the LGBTQ plus community. So make sure you get that information. If you have more questions, don't forget that you can email Blue at info@lesbiangayurbanfoundation.org. All right. Also, speaking of health and health fair, I see folks are registering. Keep those registrations coming. Don't forget, on May 20th, we are having the Your Healthy Java Betancourt Health Fair, the Joseph R. Betancourt Health Fair, taking place on Saturday, May 20th, 2023 at the Thelma Burns Building, 575 Warren Street in Grove Hall. The health fair begins at 11 a.m. and is over at 3 p.m. Listen, there are going to be gift cards, raffles, and prizes. We'll have a live DJ and also refreshments and giveaways. We want to send a special shout out and thank you to our sponsor, our platinum sponsor, Janssen of Johnson & Johnson. So please remember to come out and be a part of that health fair. Also, we want to make you aware of an opportunity for high schoolers, sophomores, juniors, and seniors that are impacted by COVID-19. If they are an artist, a poet, into social media, a writer or a rapper, and they just happen maybe to be interested in health and wellness as a career, we'd like to give them an opportunity to be a part of forming a public health and wellness campaign called Healthy 617. We're going to start meeting next Thursday. We have moved the date back, so I need to update that. We have moved the date back to next Thursday, but please be sure, take a screenshot. This information is on Twitter and Instagram and the Java with Jimmy page on Facebook as well. So please share that information with young people. They get to start the summer off with $500. Never, ever in my whole teenage life did I start the summer off with $500. And by contributing, so they're giving back to community, and they will forever be able to use me as a reference, as a campaign intern. So get that information out to young people, y'all. I think that's it for me today. We will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, let me get some information up here. So tomorrow at 9 a.m., the second Wednesday of every month is known as Waterfront Wednesdays. I have the pleasure and opportunity of bringing in a good friend and brother by the name of Darian Johnson, who is the policy lead over at the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. And we're going to talk about the economics of the waterfront. But this is a well-informed brother that's doing a lot in community. I've known him for some years. He's worked for Senator Warren. I believe he worked for Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. And is very politically astute and engaged, and just an overall good brother. So he will be with us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And also I want to make sure I have the right flyer. Hold on, y'all. I think I got this right. There it is. Also on Thursday morning, I have the wonderful opportunity of bringing on an international filmmaker by the name of Soul Guy, who is the producer, writer, forgot what the proper term is, but it is his film called The Death of My Two Fathers. And we're going to come in and talk about mental wellness from a male perspective, a man's perspective. We're going to talk about health equity. We're going to talk about his journey along watching both of his fathers die and everything that came with that, but also his accomplishments in being a father and a wonderful partner. And so that's going to take place on Thursday. So that's it for me this morning. Today's Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we will be with Your Healthy Java. I don't know if he's watching or see this, but Dr. Alabre is moving on. He's very busy at Massachusetts General Hospital. And so I told him he needs to come on next Tuesday so you all can just share what Your Healthy Java has done and just love on him and thank him for his contribution to Your Healthy Java. All right, that's it for me, for real, everyone. Don't forget to get this information, take a screenshot of this information and share it with everyone, but especially those who may or may not feel marginalized because of their sexual preference. Get this information to them through this collaboration with the Boston Lesbian Gay Urban Foundation and also Fenway Community Health Center. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. Have a great Tuesday. Remember, you have a testimony. What you're dealing with right now, you've dealt with other things before. You've accomplished that. You've got through that. You'll get through this. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Thank you. Peace.